Podcast 33. Help Wanted.
Awaken the leader inside. Follow the path of leadership. Never give up. Never stop trying. Get up. Believe in yourself. Not every day is going to be easy, but you got to challenge yourself. You need courage. Be ready. Stop waiting for it to happen. Go make it happen. Harness the power within. You were destined to be a leader. Follow the path of leadership. Awaken the leader inside.
Podcast 33. Help Wanted. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name's David Rubalcava, and I'm your host here at Awaken the Leader Inside. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode, and if you're new, I appreciate you guys finding the show. I think you'll get a lot out of it, especially as you grow your leadership. So I just want to let you guys know right now I am recording remotely, so you may hear some background noise, so I apologize for that. But hey, the show must go on, right? And I got to get these episodes to you guys, so we got to do whatever it takes. So today I wanted to talk about something that I think as leaders, we sometimes shy away from it or don't want to discuss it or even take action around it, and that is asking for help. So let's just talk about this for a minute, because I go through this, and even I've had a lot of experience, but even I sometimes struggle with asking for help. And so let's talk about maybe some reasons why we don't ask for help, and then let's talk about maybe some things that we can do or some benefit asking for help. So let's start off with the basics. Okay, so I will be absolutely transparent right now that asking for help is a tough thing to do. And I can tell you why it was tough for me early in my career. I think as a leader, and especially as a new leader, we want to grow, we want to execute, we want to be successful, and asking for help can make us look like we are not there yet. And quite honestly, and I want to be honest with you, that's not necessarily true, but as we are growing, that feeling of asking for help sometimes is tied to, I don't know, somehow us being inferior as a leader, or that we're not tough enough because we need to ask for help, or it's kind of frowned upon. At least that's our impression, especially if you're a new leader. And just think about this. If you started a new job in a new company and you were brought in as a superstar, the odds of you wanting to ask for help kind of conflict with the impression that you gave them, either through interviews or whatever, that you're strong and you're a doer and you make things happen and you're an all-star. It kind of conflicts with us being comfortable with asking for help. So I struggled, and I always reference back to this. In the first 4 years of me being a leader, I continued to struggle. I continued to fail. I continued to ignore advice. But honestly, I didn't want to ask for help. I think there was something internally that told me, like, no, I'm going to get this. I'm going to figure it out. And quite honestly, I was just being stubborn. I was like, no, I don't need help from anybody. But if you're a real leader and you're able to assess the truth about your situation, those decisions get a lot easier. Because when I reflect back onto those years, I really kick myself sometimes because it delayed my growth in my career. It delayed advancement for me just because I was so stubborn. I didn't want to ask for help, right? Even though if I would have been asking for help, it maybe would have cut down, 2 of those years of struggling and failing, 2 years, if I was only open to asking for help. So if you're like me, you guys, asking for help isn't easy. It kind of puts us in a vulnerable state. And as leaders, this is something that you're going to have to get more and more comfortable with over time, is that you are always going to kind of be in a vulnerable state when things happen, because you are the leader. You are the one that is going to pull the team out of these situations or these hardships. So you're kind of always vulnerable to feedback or vulnerable to failures or catastrophes that you're going to have to pull the team back from. So, that's kind of part of being a leader in general. But like I said, short term, not asking for help can be a difficult thing, because right now we're just worrying about this situation and this problem that we're trying to work through. But I'm going to tell you some other side effects that can happen. Delaying the project, results that are subpar because you weren't willing to ask for someone else's insight. And so this is how I look at asking for help, is it's taking partnerships with others to see through their lens, to get feedback through their lens. Or sometimes I just honestly need help right now. I'm so overwhelmed. I can't get this done. And so if you're struggling with this, as I was many years ago, you got to really think about your ability to be a team player, your ability to create a team environment, or your ability to function in a team. If you're not willing to work with others or to ask help from others, then there's something a little bit off with that. And that's important. But see, as we're growing as leaders, we're not thinking about that sometimes. We're just thinking about what's in front of us. But not asking for help can, one, like I said, get you off track and not yield the results that you want. But you're also missing an opportunity to build a relationship with your peers or those above you, or, it's your chance to actually show vulnerability and transparency that you need assistance. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to tell you right now, in my career, I'm the first one that will ask for help if I need it. If I truly, truly need help, I don't have any issues reaching out to people. Now, how often I do it? Not very often, but I do it. There's going to come time where I just need help, or my team is in a position that we need extra resources and it's just not going to happen. So I have to reach out. Because when you think about it, sometimes not reaching out for help is only going to set you guys up for future failures. And so for those of us that have been around for a while, we know that we've made those mistakes and how these things have come back to haunt us with utter catastrophes. And the first thing that comes out of your direct leader's mouth is, why didn't you just ask for help? Why didn't you let me know that this was going on? Because we could have helped you. And it's kind of always on that back end, we're like, yeah, I probably should have. I should have reached out to you. I don't know why I didn't. Over time, you want to get comfortable having those conversations. And they don't happen frequently, but when you need help, you need help. But let me tell you something great that comes out of that. One, you got to sometimes take those monkeys off your back. You got to take that weight, that extra weight and those extra things off of your back sometimes. And this ties back to allowing others to come in to help and assist, is that maybe they can help take some of those things off your plate. Maybe even your team, you're holding on to too much right now, not giving enough to them. You're not delegating enough to them. So you hold on to it to the point where you get frustrated and you're overwhelmed. Those are all tied. Asking for help can go up levels, down levels, and peer to peer. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're in a situation that can continue to frustrate you, continue to set you up to fail. And as a leader, you have to be comfortable recognizing the situation and you need help. So I'm going to tell you this, guys. I'm going to leave you with this one because this one was tough for me too. And it happens to me. It happened to me recently where I'm like, hey, I just need help. If you don't feel comfortable asking for help, at some point you are going to hit a wall. You're going to hit a wall because think about this. Everything that we do in business, it's a people business. It's about helping people, or it's about leading people. Either way, it's about connecting with others to get the job done. And the more that you hold on to it alone, it is going to get harder and harder for you to find balance. And the most important thing for you as a leader is to find balance so that you can consistently deliver results or consistently perform at a high level. That takes other people to help you. Don't believe that you can do all this alone. And if you do believe that, then you're probably experiencing some hardships every once in a while. Embrace that. Be comfortable with allowing people to help you if you need it. And I'm going to tell you, if you're always asking for help, that's a different story, because I have leaders, I've had associates that do that, and after a while it's like, hey man, you got to make this happen. So just don't take it to the extreme. You got to have balance. If it's once in a while and it's really, really needed, then feel comfortable asking for help. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with a few tips, guys. Number one, be honest about where you're at right now. Probably the most important step, because if you're not honest about what's happening to you right now and that you actually need help, what's going to happen is you're going to wait till the last minute when nobody can help you, or it's too late, or that deadline's tomorrow and you're going to have to work 16 hours. Don't do that. We know most of the time something is off track, or this potentially may miss the deadline. You get those red alerts, like I don't know how to explain it. You can feel it, and you can just know that something is not right and you're potentially heading in the wrong direction. So we know that. So be very honest about what's happening to you. Two, take partnerships with others. Sometimes you can do it very subtly. Instead of asking, hey, I'm struggling with this, can you help me, like immediately like that? It's asking for advice. Hey, how do you think this looks? Or how do you think I'm doing so far? Or hey, any suggestions that you might ask from your peers? Hey, any suggestions about what we can do to help this project? Or, get a little bit of insight. That way you can, sometimes we don't know we're off track until we get that feedback. So that's a good point too. And then three, take a deep breath. I know that sounds really silly. It does, but I get it. Sometimes it's hard to see what's happening until we step back, until we step out, until we take a deep breath, and then we sleep on it and then refocus. Because I think when we take a step back and kind of breathe and step away from the project, that next day, I don't know what it is, but the next day I seem to always wake up with a lot clearer focus, because I'm not feeling all of that pressure from the day and it's not wearing me down. And so I'm just a little bit more clear about what happened and what needs to get done. So take a deep breath, step back. Sometimes you have to sleep on it, and then come back and reevaluate it tomorrow. And the last piece I'm going to tell you that is extremely important is you've got to get past whatever barrier is holding you back from asking or seeking advice. You gotta kind of get past that, because if you want to be successful, true leadership is about overcoming obstacles. Now, sometimes there's self-inflicted obstacles. That is very true. That is very real. It's not always about stuff that's happening around us. Sometimes it's about stuff that's happening within us. But as a leader, leaders will find solutions. You have to be okay with acknowledging that maybe in this situation, the problem is you. And that's okay. Once you can acknowledge that, once you can get past that, you're going to open your own doors. And the more times that you feel comfortable asking, the more times you exercise that, it's going to get a little bit easier for when you truly need help. Just don't overplay that hand, because eventually it's going to be like you're on your own. Trust me. So stay focused. If you need assistance, let me know. I'm always here for you guys. So if you need anything, let me know. I can help coach you through it. So I'm going to ask something from you guys. I need your help. If you know anybody that needs assistance growing as a leader, if you know anybody that can benefit from this podcast, I want you to share it with somebody. Our audience is growing, and it's amazing to watch this grow, but you can help me reach more people that truly need help with leadership or truly want to grow as a leader. So if you can do that for me, I truly appreciate it. Just remember, every day you make a difference. Go make it happen. I believe in you. If you've enjoyed this episode, please log on to iTunes and leave me a review. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next podcast. Always remember, awaken the leader inside.